So, chat, do you guys want me to run through what this game is again? Because, like, we could do that. Okay, so this game is a game that I kickstarted, and it's going to get a lot of comparisons. You're going to hear a lot of people saying, man, this looks a lot like RimWorld. Part 1. And you're also going to get a lot of people saying, man, this looks like a lot of Dwarf Fort. Or, man, what's this Dwarf Fortress ripoff? Or, wow, this is a RimWorld ripoff. Let games exist, even though they look similarly. That's the first thing I'm going to say. But that's not this game's problem. No, this game's problem is that I backed this on Kickstarter in 2018. Okay? It was originally called King Under the Mountain. I backed this on Kickstarter. Developer from Manchester. They barely made their first stretch goal. Of like, 21,000 pounds, which is like nothing. So, didn't make a lot of money on Kickstarter. It was supposed to release on Steam in early access in February 2019. It didn't until 2021 in November. When it released onto Steam, it got 2 updates and then went silent for a bit. It was like 1 update every couple of weeks and then went silent for a really long time. And then about, 6 months later, they were like, hey, we found a publisher. We're going to be getting a publisher. That's a single month's rent in Manchester. Oh, boy. Then after that, they then went silent again and then said, hey, we've been dropped by our publisher. With no real information as to why. Just it didn't go well. And they were supposed, when they had initially announced that they'd gotten a publisher, they were supposed to like be putting a whole studio on the game or something. Like they were going to actually have like people working on it instead of just like the one guy on the weekends. Long story short, it didn't happen. And the game basically sat there dead for a long time. Like 2 weeks ago, I get an email from the Kickstarter and from the developer directly because I own the game on Steam, stating, hey, we're relaunching it with a new name and a bunch of updates. So this is the same game with a new name and a bunch of updates. I would say if you're interested in this, put it on your wish list, but don't buy it because this is kind of a burn me twice kind of thing where like you announce your game and like it has a troubled development and that part sucks. I'm not gonna like blame a developer for that. You release 3 years late. And then, well, actually, is it 3 years? 2019, 2020, 2 years late. 2.5 years late. And then rename the game and release it again. Do I have to buy it again? No. I received a key. And anybody who owned King Under the Mountain previously are receiving a key. So. It's very dwarfy. Like, if you've played Dwarf Fortress, you know what's up here. It even... Did I just say blue sack? Oh, boy. I guess I can just name it whatever I want to name it, so that's kind of cool. Blue Furnace. It's a DF clone-like. It's a very Armok-like game, yes. Doesn't have Z levels. It's flat. It's got a planned adventure mode thing where you'll be able to explore other people's fortresses. Let's just call it Brew Core. Sure. We'll go with a large map because why not? Now we wait patiently. Well, let's see. How big is the map? Okay, pretty big. Yeah, that's not small actually. Considering I can't zoom out any more than this. There's a lot of mountain there. That is big. Okay, well. The fun part is going to be finding the starting location again. There's a little river, there's a forest. No Z levels. No, this game is flat. There is elephants, though. There is elephants. From earlier builds, this game had a lot of similarities to Clan Folk, if anybody here played that, in that everything requires a tool, it seems like. All right, so... there we go. We got multiple wagons. Look at that. Armok be praised. Many multiples of wagons. Welcome to Mountaincore. We control F'd King Under the Mountain and replaced it with the word Mountaincore. This is an early access release with gameplay and features still in development. Okay. Your band of dwarven settlers have chosen an area to found a new colony of their kingdom. Provide food and shelter and prosperity for them. And who knows, maybe one day this will be the capital of a kingdom of its time. The capital of a kingdom of its of its own, not of its time. Okay. You know what? You know how that reads? It reads like somebody asked ChatGPT to describe Dwarfort. Also, this guy's flat. Like, look at the. I love how. One thing I really do like about this game is just how bead-like the dwarves are. I mean, look at these guys. That was also something that this game had that was like kind of impressive before Dwarfort. Lest the elephants get hungry. Yeah, pretty much. That was something that this game had that was interesting, like pre-Dwarfort on Steam, was that the dwarves all like represented like their descriptions, and there is quite a bit of variety for them. They look like burgers. Yeah, they kind of look like nesting dolls, actually. Yeah, they're like weird flat nesting dolls. They're more like nesting beans than nesting dolls, and they're like arms. What are those? Anyway, so let's begin this tutorial, shall we? Oh wow, West. Q and E to zoom. Click on the minimap. Well, that would have been useful earlier when I was exploring. And even the minimap looks like Dwarfort. So I don't know if this is still a thing, but at least the last time I played this, if you chop down all of a certain type of tree in a map, they stop regrowing. That was a thing that I remember encountering the last time I played this, when it had a different name, was that if you chop down every single tree, the trees will just like stop regrowing. So I had like a little area that like had one or two trees that I would leave, and by the next year there was a little circle of them. So stuff like that. It's like this game's got things going for it that are neat. It's got water physics that work. Very akin to like what's it called? Like 2D DF basically. Which honestly, like Dwarf Fortress before it had Z levels was a very intriguing, interesting game, and nobody's really kind of replicated that. So that's one of the reasons why I'm like, yeah, I'm super okay with somebody trying to make a game like this. Appendage is not required. Yeah, well, elbow, more like elbow optional. Anyway, click on the minimap to jump to a location. Yep, already done that. You can view a time, date, weather, and the game's control speed. Cool. Can I rename my fort from up here? It kind of looks like it. Can I I'm sure I can rename the dwarves. Click on the one icon. Okay. Don't. Speed. Okay. Click on the, I'm assuming, okay, it's what, 1 through 4 on the keyboard, speeds up time. Click on one of the other view modes buttons. One of the other view modes buttons? Okay, so we can see if there's a roof somewhere. Piping? Yeah, okay, for like, irrigation and whatnot. If I recall correctly, I don't know how advanced these mechanics are now, but this game used to have like basic sewage systems and like water irrigation where you'd take like pipes and you'd put them in the ground and it would like flow to different locations and like irrigate soil and stuff. Like there is a reason why I'm coming back to this game after so long with this re-release. Is it was interesting. It was interesting enough that I want to come back and do it again. But would have this one stand out from the crowd. Well, I mean, it's just like I think every single one of these games kind of does something different enough that they stand out, right? Like Clanfolk has its family tree stuff, right? Which makes it very quickly start to feel more like Crusader Kings than a game like Dwarf Fort. Lords and Villains has its like economy stuff, and it's like if you want to play a game that's kind of like Dwarf Fort a little bit, or kind of like RimWorld because it doesn't have like Z levels, and you just want like, I want to pay people wages for their job. I want to have an active economy. I want to have a bank account. I want to have land ownership. Then you go play Lords and Villains, and it's like, okay, so what's this game going to do that's like unique and interesting? Well, at this point, I don't know. We'll see. It's like a Keeper RL gives you the Dungeon Keeper fantasy, right? But let's move through. The icons to the left of time and date and various management and overview screens. Settlers. Ooh, okay. Well, this is a big-ass UI. I might actually make the UI small. Like, I might scale down the size of the UI because everything feels very big. Military, chef, blacksmith, carpenter, farmer, weaver. I guess this is just like filtering the list of dwarves. I want to complain about something. Journeyman blacksmith. Journey dwarf blacksmith. Just complaining for a second. And then the other one is resources. Okay, I got... Like, see, this is what I mean. Like, to make barrels, you need to make barrel hoops, and you need planks. So we've got 12 barrel hoops right now. And it looks like we have 48 planks, and also metal plates, as well as 2 cauldrons and buckets. The controls in the lower left corner of this screen are the main way of interacting with the game. These ones. Okay, so there's orders. We got mine, chop, clear, extinguish, and cancel. We've got stone paving. We got smooth walls. We got built like stuff like this. Under power and water, we've got irrigation and pipes. I'm assuming that requires metal. Then we have power. Then we have well. I guess, okay, so you can like select what material type you're going to use. You can be specific. So, yeah, that's kind of neat. And there's, like, different other things. Because there's water pumps, there's windmills, water wheels. What else do we have? Then we just have a demolish button. Okay. And then there's also other stuff in here that I'm, like, pretty sure they just haven't given me yet. Because there's also rooms, and these are all the different rooms. And each room has its own associated things. So, like, see, like, a barracks gives us beds, sleeping spots, training dummies, archery targets, armor stands, and weapon racks. Stop me if you've heard of any of these before. Bakery gives you a baker's workshop, a baker's oven, import pallet, got a proofing table. Like, it's like 5 different workshops you need to bake bread. Like a smelter, you need the bloomery furnace, and then there's the import and export pallets because they like put stuff on there and then workers come and gather them from those. Charcoal kiln. This is a pile of logs covered with earth, and it's slowly burnt to produce charcoal. Well, that's interesting. So you build this, and it slowly turns into charcoal. Or maybe they just add wood to it, and it becomes charcoal, and then you make stuff in the coke oven. Anyway, this UI is way nicer than it used to be. It's kind of huge, though. Let's see if I can scale it down slightly. The controls in the lower left of the screen are the main way of interacting with the game. You can assign orders and queue rooms and furniture to be created, and also adjust the priority of tasks. You can right-click and go back to the previous menu or clear the selection, okay? Settlers need food, drink, and sleep. Duh. For now, you can drink from the river and sleep on the ground. Oh, no! However, they must grow crops. To eat, they must grow crops. Okay. Click on rooms and select farm plot. Which symbol indicates farming plot? Ah, there it is. I need to do, oh, what, 4 total? Oh, I guess that's like the number of seeds I have, hey? We have hemp. We have barley, carrots, corn, hemp, hops, potatoes, tomatoes, and wheat. That's what, 7 by 7? I'm thinking of making these too big. So let's do some smaller ones up here. Click on each of the farm. Click on each of the farm and select a crop to be planted. Skip hemp, barley, and hops for now. These are used for textiles and brewing. Yeah, that checks out. So, like, what? Potatoes? Let's do tomatoes. Let's do corn. And carrots. Each settler can take up to 3 professions assigned, which determines which jobs they will do. I try so you don't have to. Basically what True Frick just said. You can select a settler to view or change their professions. It can also be done from this settler's management screen. So if I click on a settler, okay. So this is a stonemason, blacksmith, villager. You know, it's and then you just flip this switch for military. I guess this is their inventory. You know, rock bread is that a real thing? Do we have 2 carrot plots? That's fine. We need more carrots. Yeah, we did do 2 carrots. Maybe we should do the 2 smaller ones carrots. You can also be carrots, and then you down here can be potatoes. We got potatoes, tomatoes, and then carrots and carrots. There we go. There's nothing like pleasant sounding about rock bread. So this person is a woodcutting villager. Woodcutting villager farmer? Oh, true, yeah, it's probably hardtack. Looks suspiciously dwarfy. Is suspiciously dwarfy. Yes. I play games that are suspiciously dwarfy. Assign 3 settlers to farmers. Also be sure to keep some assigned haulers as they're responsible for moving items around. It's a good place. It's a good idea to place stockpiles for your settlers and share items. Select rooms and then select stockpile and then tools. Now, I might be crazy, but I seem to recall the last time I played this, it told me to do this, and then I put my stockpile for tools outside and they all rusted. So hold on a second. This is signifying that this is underneath a roof. So what if I put it underneath this little ledge here? Like right there. Stockpile. Do I have enough space? Rooms. Stockpile. Tools. Rock bread is a thing? Doesn't sound appetizing. Bird sounds are nice. You can also set the priority of the stockpiles. That's kind of neat. I seem to recall that from RimWorld. Crops are harvested in the autumn and should be stored in a food stockpile. Only in the autumn? Y'all need to get better at crop rotations. To get the most out of your crops, it's best to produce soup from vegetables or bake bread from grain. Select rooms and place a kitchen. Unlike farm plots, most rooms need furniture to function. All right, well, let's... So they need 12 kitchen tiles, and in that kitchen zone, we need a water barrel, a kitchen workshop, and a cauldron. So stuff does cave in this. So maybe we should just start digging. Or start building, like, around here or something. One of the two. Because, like, trees are kind of far away. I mean, there are trees out here. I'm going to tell them to go hack down some trees so we can get some wood going. I don't know if anything's going to attack us. There was no combat in this game the last time I played it, so we'll find out. I kind of hope we die in fun. So for tools, we've got like axes, we've got an anvil. Yeah, no, I definitely had all of my tools like rot away into nothing at one point last time I played this. Stone bread is a thing dwarves make in Warhammer canon. You know, everybody thinks about Warhammer canon, but nobody ever asks about like Warhammer rifle. Okay, so we are going to mine down into here. Start cutting this out. I live to impress. Warhammer hammer. Yeah, there you go.
You suck.
But we'll see. This might, speaking of things that might impress, this might impress. They're still like irrigating or no, tilling the soil. That's what they're doing over there. The soil also definitely has different fertility based on how close it is, but, or rather it did at one point. Also, let's see if this is still the case. Yeah, look at this. So this dwarf is assigned as a miner. Miners get these headlamps. They get headlamps, which I really like. I don't know. There's something about just like it's literally like a little arm with a little oil lamp. There's something about that that's kind of great. And then they have little light sources. There is light sources in this too. You'll be placing lamps. Well, it seems like they are. Well, they were sleeping. Now they're back to unloading stuff. Exactly, things have to start somewhere. And I, for one, am a big fan of games that want to be like Dwarf Fortress and RimWorld, because you know it's both good games? Dwarf Fortress and RimWorld. And I enjoyed RimWorld a lot more when it was more like Dwarf Fort, and stopped enjoying it when it became more like, you know, what RimWorld is now. And let's also see how many settlers we have mining. One? Well, that won't do. Who's also sleeping on gravel. Also don't know, like... Okay, so what? We have 336 rations? I'm kind of missing Dwarf Fortress's, like... This is the food amount you have that's in an easy-to-find menu. Oh, I guess we can set priority here. Oh, that's interesting. If I do this, I guess they'll mine that out first. I wouldn't play it, Neocamera. Although the reason I say I wouldn't play it is because games like that kind of already exist, and I don't enjoy playing games like that. The second you throw multiplayer into a game, it completely changes the point of it. Like, Ymir is probably the closest thing you'd get to, like, a large-scale city colony builder that's multiplayer, and it's completely insufferable to actually play, unless you have a super dedicated group of people and you ignore half of the mechanics. So I wouldn't play it. Let's just put our raw materials out there. Bring logs over. Fur logs. Also, things actually have, like, cash value in this. I don't know how much economy this game's going to end up having. So the big cool feature that this game wants to implement, that they've wanted to implement since the Kickstarter, that never got implemented in the last time it was for sale, that I don't expect them to ever actually implement, but the big cool feature that this game wants to have is the ability to control a group of adventurers, stop me if you've heard this one before, and go and explore other players' forts or attack them, not while they're actively playing. So I don't know how I feel about that, but that's the thing. Dwarf Fort looks different. Yeah, it very much does. It's like I'm not streaming Dwarf Fort. I do kind of like watching the dwarves run in and grab the boulders. There's something that's still very satisfying about this. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but they put one log down, and they've been stacking other logs on top of the logs. That's kind of neat. Logs go in multi-stacks and the tile changes. It's a nice little detail. I mean, yeah, the dwarves look like boulders. This boulder's got a smiley on it. It's winking at you. Can't say that about the reverse. I like and respect animals, so I don't own them. Do I have like a smoothing tool? Well, we've planted potatoes. We've also planted some carrots. Well, we've ran out of carrot seeds. We've ran out of tomato seeds, but we've planted them. And we've planted all the potatoes. Well, I guess that's progress. I guess up here I could do something else. Like we could plant all the corn seeds up there. What, the garden plots look like rugs? Yeah, the little rope kind of icon around the edge does kind of make them look like weird sewn rugs, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I've never been like the biggest fan of the art style of this game. Oh, look at this. We got wild piggies. I like their faces. It's like, what's your emotion? Just like :3. Yeah, rugs is kind of a good call. I also like the fact that there's a fire extinguisher order implying that things are going to catch on fire. That's always a good sign. The shadow effect is kind of nice. It's going to be neat having to, like, light things up. And also, honestly, like, here's what I would want from a game like this, right? I want a game to replicate what Dwarf Fortress was when Dwarf Fortress was 2D. Limestone rock wall. Did they queue that up by themselves? Or is there... Oh, I see that. It's been set to be demolished, and they just haven't done it yet. If I could, like, ask for something nice... I mean, the lighting isn't that crazy. It's pretty default Unity looking, actually. If I were to ask for something from a game like this, I just want them to replicate what 2D Dwarf Fortress was. You know, like the flood seasons, the dig all the way to the right and you get invaded by the demons. I'd want that kind of thing, but I don't think that's exactly what they're going for here. One day you're going to look at 2D DF. Yeah. Yeah, me too, I think. Let's see if I can... How much of this I can actually roof off. I'm also curious about when do invaders, or not invaders, but like friendlies arrive. What if that was roofs they were putting up? Ah, they are putting up roofs. See? These are roofs. Cool. I mean, if you want Z levels in a game that's not Dwarf Fortress, go play Odd Realm, which is ODD Realm. Odd Realm is about the best thing you're gonna get in regards to it's kind of Dwarf Fortress-ish, but also has Z levels. Yeah, it also has rubies and sapphires. That's pretty gem-like. Tom? Like I need to turn the music up a little bit. No, totally. But Dwarf Fortress also inspires other games. And I think they all deserve a look every so often. And I think there's no better day of the week than Monday to do this. I almost wonder if the dev even wants people streaming this right now. Because, like, you know, the Steam page isn't even up. But they didn't say I couldn't. So, because this game releases on Steam again in, like, a month. It's like 4 weeks. So, it's one of those things where if you want to go wishlist this, you can. But, yeah, May 18th. It makes you question the need of a front end. You need a front end. How else do you walk forwards? Sheesh. Forgot how much this music's stuck in my brain. If you bought this game before Feels Batman, there is a website that you can go to which will just give you this version. Like, if you go look in your email or go to the game's store page, there's multiple links. Or go to the original game's store page if you own the original game. And then there's a redeem link, and you can just get this version right now. Yeah, that's what I did. Like, I don't have, like, special press treatment for this or anything. I just went through their Kickstarter stuff. That's a weird shadow anomaly. Look at that. All right, so kitchen is what we're doing. Oh yeah, this is also kind of a neat thing. You make feasting halls, and they organize feasts, and they'll, like, take a large amount of your food all at once, and they'll have little celebrations. Like, there's cool bits about this game. Kitchen, that's what I'm looking for. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I need a 12-tile kitchen. Can I, like, delete this? I'm just curious. I'm trying to figure out if I can edit this once I've placed it. Ah, I see. Okay. We'll make this into the kitchen down here. So in order to make a kitchen, I need a water barrel, which they do take to the nearest water source and fill. And then it's like... So they take the water barrel to a well or to the nearest river and fill it. And they use that to make soup. I need a kitchen workshop and a cauldron. Okay, so I have a cauldron. So I place the cauldron. The cauldron needs access. I take the kitchen workshop. Again, the kitchen workshop, they need to be able to access it. The water barrel, again, they need to be able to access it. They don't need to be able to access all of it at once, but they do need to be able to access it. So I should be able to just place that down there. And... I already got the cauldron, so that should be everything that we need. As you might be able to tell, I didn't exactly do much in the way of woodshop training. So can I pave something after I've constructed on it? I wonder. I just want to try this. Although paving might also require blocks. So I'm assuming that will require some sort of mason shop. Ah, see? Masonry workshop. I'm very good at making educated guesses. Ore crushing station, stonemason workshop, workbench. It's a hobble? I know what a hobble is, ironically. Okay, so I place the... Okay, that's kind of cool. It does appear that they will pave stuff after you've constructed on it. Yeah, no, they do. Okay, so that's good to know. Let's jump back up to roofing. So can't... Maybe they need the pillars to be done before it, like, tells me where I can build roofs. All right, so I've made my kitchen. I now need to make a feasting hall. Some Select rooms and place a feasting hall and mark a cauldron to be placed in the feasting hall later. So what they do is they make bowls of soup in the pot, and then when the pot is ready, they then transport it to the feasting hall, if I remember correctly. So we need to make a feasting hall, naturally. But things need pillars and will collapse and cave in, so... Okay. You're going to start working on that, but while they're also working on that, I'm going to back out of this screen, and I'm going to actually make that mason's shop. So we're just going to place a zone right here. And I'm not going to make an ore crushing station. So what ore crushing station does is it takes ore and it crushes it down so that it can then be smelted using fuel. So making a bar of metal is like a 3-step process, I think. You need fuel, you need coke, you need an ore crushing station. You crush it at an ore crushing station, and then they take it to the blooming furnace, and then they blast it, and I think that's how you get bars after that. And then after that, you can then do stuff with them at the smithy, but we're just making stonemason stuff. Let's do 2 of these workbenches right here, and I can remove a bunch of these. Use this to determine which materials get imported to this room. Might as well make that. We'll see. Okay, so this all has roofing above it now. I think. Or is queued up to have roofing put above it, but doesn't currently. I guess I just have too many jobs. Let's just, can I? Oh, I guess I can't increase the priority of the roofing, but... Oh, no, I can. Interesting. So I could just do this. I'm wondering if it takes actual materials to do roofing. Pre-Z level DF had roofs and it had irrigation. Oh, this is interesting. This is all new since the last time I played this. Trading used to just be a menu. Okay, I really like the little seed bags, Like, again, like, this has a lot of character to it. Like, it's got kind of a Flash gamey vibe to it, which I don't think is a negative thing. But it's got a lot of character to it. Yep, Dwarf Fortress from 2006 until about 2009 was a 2D flat game like RimWorld. Yeah. If you go look at screenshots of legendary Let's Plays like Boat Murdered, that was when Dwarf Fortress was 2D. Currently, I'm working towards the Feasting Hall, which I think I have to have done by fall. Because that's when we get our crops. I'm assuming I need to assign something here. Crafting? Ooh. So I'm assuming this is what we can make here. We can make stone pipes, we can make millstones, we can cut gems out of gem rocks, and we can make blocks. Okay. Maybe they just haven't given me that menu yet. Weren't written much after Beethoven for quite a while. The music was short pieces. Why? Because people didn't want to try and compete with Beethoven? Also, thank you to everybody tuning in for this weird thing. Zwari, hello, it's good to see you. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of a weird thing. Do I need to make carpentry? Am I out of planks? My plants are 67 and 50-something% done. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. All I know is that there's a lawsuit involved, which makes me not want to touch it with a 400-foot-long pole. Even a lawsuit with frivolous companies like Nexon, it's like, that shit's just weird. I'm good. Hard pass on that. Okay, so they didn't need more planks. They just needed somebody to do the job. We're going to export blocks from here. So did they just take this and make them into blocks now? Or is there like another menu that I'm missing? You know, fun fact, I am banned from Nexon for... So yeah, that's how you set up workshop orders now. That's interesting. There used to be like a workshop crafting screen. You place a pallet, and then you place another pallet, and you tell them what to import to the pallet, and then you tell them what to outport from the pallet, and then they just go do it. That's kind of cool. That's a neat way of doing things. Let's see, so they're gonna use 2 blocks. Oh, that's interesting. It just tells me what they're going to use to build this. So it's just like any wood planks, which I don't think we actually have available right now, which is a bit of a problem. Any wood planks. Can I deconstruct my wagons? Do I get more wood planks from deconstructing my wagons? I do. We also get barrel hoops and staves. Pieces of things. Budget Games, what up? You dropped out of bed? Well, that's good. I think. These need 2, and these need 2. So I guess I'm going to need to break my other 2 wagons. Oh, interesting. Carpentry isn't what I thought it was. So apparently carpentry takes planks, staves, or barrel hoops, ideally all 3, and then makes stuff out of wood. I guess I need a sawmill? That's just a guess. Let's find out. Do I need a sawmill? I do need a sawmill. All right, well, I skipped a step, apparently. Okay, well, how about let's just demolish this and all of its pieces surrounding. Well, that's not what I wanted. That's the button that I wanted. That's the button that I need, and that's the button I need because I've skipped an entire level of this process. So let's get all this stuff deconstructed, and then we will build a sawmill there. So I guess they just make a stack until it's full, and then they just stop. That's also really cool. Like, that's a really neat, like, easy way of doing crafting routes in a game like this. They just fill it up until the pallet's full, and you can build more pallets if you want, but you don't have to. Yeah, no, they're trying to make that roof, which is why they're, like, picking up and placing the pallet repeatedly. But now I can actually go up here and just be like, okay, roof this whole thing off. And they should actually be able to do it now, instead of, like, just running out of planks halfway through, which is what they did previously. I don't know if I need to construct this. It looks like it's made out of 8 blocks, and I'm allowing them to use any type of block. So let's just make 2 feasting tables, I suppose. And then, obviously, feasting thrones. And these take 2 blocks to make? Okay. I think it's kind of funny that the game in its tutorial is just like, make these things. Also, we're not going to tell you how to make them. And then you place a cauldron. So when there's a cauldron full of food available, they put it there. And then you can place a beer tapper, which I think needs barrels connected to. Water barrel is how they give themselves drinks of water if you don't have alcohol. So we'll place a water barrel in here somewhere. Let's do that down here. And then the beer tapper is for if you have booze available. Which, again, is kind of a neat way of doing it. I'm also just going to extend this to this whole room because I have a feeling we're going to need that. Might as well just queue up a beer tapper. Might as well. And then we can put a butcher over on this side. I don't know why we'd need that, but there's kind of a lot of things that they're doing. I like all these different steps. This is good. So I've either harvested carrots. Oh, wow, we have harvested carrots. Look at this. We're harvesting carrots. He's kind of upset. Sorry, Gear Many Barrel. But yeah, supposedly there's enemies. There is a calm setting that you can turn on, which leads me to believe that there definitely are enemies, but also, I don't know. I've been proven wrong before. I think this whole area out here is going to get paved. There's also like mushroom plants around here. Purple helmet. I don't... We'll just leave that as heavily inspired. Next simple step is to ensure you have food once your crops are harvested later in the year. You can also fish in the river or hunt animals if you have a set up military to provide more food. Oh, interesting. You need to hunt animals, you need to set up a military. Many items are crafted from wooden planks and stone blocks. It's important to maintain a steady supply of these. Select orders, mine. Yep, already ahead of you there. Well, we've cut stone boulders and made blocks. Wooden planks are produced at a sawmill by a woodcutter. Way ahead of you there. Okay, so I need to... rooms with furniture that produce items are controlled using import and export pallets. Place at least one import pallet and one export pallet in the sawmill and masonry. Also, place a products stockpile, which will hold items that are produced. Okay. A products stockpile. Should definitely make a weapons stockpile right there. But, products. Guess we'll place that there. Already ahead of you, already done. Oh, they want me to have 45 blocks in my stockpile. I keep making them into floors and things. What if I don't want to have 45 blocks in your stockpile, in the stockpile? That's quite satisfying. That little production line chain we've got going here. No, they can do one of 3 jobs. They can be assigned to 3 separate tasks, and one of them is just odd jobs like hauling. So you'll eventually end up with specialized dwarves. Like if I go up to, so currently I've got 0 chefs, 0 carpenters, 0 blacksmiths, but I got 1 woodcutter. Nobody's currently assigned to masons. They might also be doing some like weird, we swap from job to job as jobs become available. Ackray currently is very upset. Probably something to do with sleeping in the rain. If I had to guess. But yeah, they have multiple jobs that they can complete. Oh, you are correct. It is only showing you. Yeah, so we still have 0 chefs. We got 2 blacksmiths, 1 carpenter, 3 farmers, 2 woodcutters, a miner, 2 masons, and there you go. I do need to assign somebody. Let's jump over to Helver over here. You can be a chef. Which, he's a level 50 blacksmith and a level 0 chef. And then you can like flip on and off whether or not they're in the military. And I'm assuming they just go and train when they have nothing else to do. Oh, interesting. He just goes and grabs a crate of it and just puts it into the thingy. Milled malt and flour? Okay, so you can bring in wheat, and you can make malt and flour in the kitchen. So this is making carrot stock, I'm assuming? These don't need to be done right away. These tables do. Oh, that's interesting. So they brewed carrot soup, and they placed it in here. So now they come in here and they sit at the stone thrones, and they theoretically will use the feasting table. Rusted away. An item has been, or a piece of furniture has been destroyed due to prolonged exposure to the rain. I don't know what that was. Well, this is still getting rained on, apparently. Let's just increase all of this priority up. Although I may need to go chop down more trees. That might also have something to do with it. All right, well, we've done enough fiddling, and I've messed around and learned the basics. Let's start over. And I will give Acre a name right away. Brave Pond. I'm not super down with that name, so let's go with Brave Puddle. Brave Puddle. Let's dismiss the tutorial, I think is what I'm going to do. Because I think I have a pretty good idea of what I should be doing. Also, I like this embark a lot more. I mean, look at this. We can totally do fun stuff down here. So let's start off by planting our farm plots. You know, like we had to do the first time. I guess mushroom farm is a completely different thing, hey? I have this problem where, like, these icons are not super obvious. Like, I'm sure, like, this problem will go away quite quickly. But, like, I have this problem where I'm just looking at it and going, like, none of this means anything. You know what I mean? Let's just do 5x5s. Do carrots. Corn. You can use this menu to change the priority of job. Okay, so they still give me a light tutorial. So I'm going to make a raw materials stockpile right here. I like this spot as well much more than the other one that we had where I was just fiddling around with things. I like this spot a lot more because there's also trees growing like right where I'm, like, you know, intending to exist. But also easily wall this off. It's very doable. Can hack down several varieties of trees even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly widen a chunk underneath here and install pillars and get my initial industries running right here. So I'm going to do a row of masonry stuff. We're going to do a row of carpentry stuff, and then we're going to build the kitchen and stuff that the tutorial tells you to build right away. That's going to be kind of the ordering I'm going to do this. Oh, interesting. There's also this menu that I don't think the game gave me while I was fiddling in the tutorial. This is just straight up Rim World. So's that. Please don't do that again, game. That's mean. All right, so we're going to make a sawmill. And I'm going to place, 2 import pallets and 2 export pallets. And we'll place one of these for right now. Everything is phallic if you're brave enough. Yes, I'm not very brave. That's what, 4, so... do that. That's kind of neat. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, the minimap's really small. Oh, okay. I can smallify it. I'm not... So this is just going to export planks. And we're going to import logs. I don't think I assigned an extra farmer for farming. This is a really satisfying, like, process of construction, though. What did I say again? It doesn't matter, because chat was too busy talking about dicks. No point in mentioning it. Thanks for the penny, Trimkov. I like that all the different wood types have different sprites. Different color variants. It's nice. Little details like that. I appreciate. So in order to make this workbench, they need a raw boulder, 3 planks, and then a chisel and a hammer to make a masonry shop. What happens if you leave the dwarves in the dark? Chat will ask if this is discount DF. I mean, chat will ask if this is discount DF regardless of what I do. I am doomed. Chat will just ask that. That is a given. And if anything, I think this game's gonna be for sale for $25. So it might end up costing almost as much as DF, so thus making it not really a discount. It's more like younger DF, if anything. DF's the older grandpappy. Let's just focus on getting one of these done. So we are going to output blocks from these. Traders have arrived. They're quite far away. I'm assuming I need to make a trading location. I definitely have nothing I can sell them. Oh shit, the wagons move. I didn't notice that. All right, let's place more pillars. Don't even worry about it. Where did that's the kitchen menu. That's what I'm looking for. Kitchen. Okay, well, we'll make a kitchen workshop. We'll make a barrel. We'll make a... Well, actually, let's not make the barrel there. Let's move the barrel. The grist mill grinds wheat into flour. Oh, okay. I guess I can also just place a butcher shop there, even though I don't need it yet. You can't dig in adventure mode. You can chop trees down, though. And find caves and adventure throughout those. But there is no digging in adventure mode, which is one of those funny, weirdness things about adventure mode is that you can't dig in it. All right, so I need to assign a chef. Car Steel Clan, who's currently carrying a something. You get to be a cook now. They're all very upset. If you hadn't noticed. What was I going to build? I have to build this. Feasting hall. Obviously, for our new guests. Definitely not for the starving dwarves in this holding. That fits. Okay, well, let's just... Chat, limestone or sandstone? We have both. Limestone, stone, or sandstone? Feasting hall is very different than the fisting hall. The fisting hall is where they learn to punch things. Definitely. That's absolutely what that is. Well, Graz says sandstone, so I think we'll go with sandstone. So the feasting hall, not the thing you just said, chat room, needs a cauldron and a water barrel. Is there a particular reason they're not putting a cauldron there? We do have a cauldron. I have a cauldron. It's right there. And it's right there even. Odd. I do like that everything is a bean in this game, though. Oh, I know why. I understand now why. Because kitchen number 1 hasn't produced anything. Looking to see if I'm missing anything. I do have a dwarf that is... So... Is it perhaps the fact that there's no food in this stockpile? Do I need fuel? They're not cooking when they were before previously. Well, we got time. We got plenty of rations left. All right, what else can we build? Let's build something. You right here, that's a sawmill. We could make a carpenter. Let's make a carpenter thingy. Actually, hold on. It's 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll put pillars there, and then we'll dig out around. But things don't cave in on me. They're cold and dusty. I mean, they certainly do need bedrooms. Okay. Well, let's do bedrooms. While we're also building this crafting stuff. I'm going to assume they don't need to be huge. The problem with this game and the... Ooh, you hold down shift and it moves faster. Dev played Dwarfort. The problem with this game is I'm very tempted to just fall into my old, boring-looking RimWorld patterns for building. I don't want to do that. Just because, like, the similar building styles are gonna be very, you know, easy and natural. I also don't know how big the bedrooms need to be. And bedrooms only have one item listed, which is bed. So I'm going to assume they don't need to be huge. I think they're just going to get sleeping spots initially because I don't actually... I seem to recall beds requiring linens. The beds are one tile, so... I love the little mining headlamp. That's probably my favorite feature of this game, actually. I'm also going to put my seeds down here. I'm assuming I'm not going to need to worry about barrels and seeds. Oh, they're filling up the water barrel. Ooh, we just made carrot soup. I really like this mechanic. They make soup and then go drop it in the thing. So, like, you could have a really big kitchen with, like, 12 cauldrons, and they'll just make 12 cauldrons of soup and then bring them to a really big feasting hall. Like, there's something really cool about that. I like that mechanic a lot. They take 4 carrots and they put it into a pot of soup, add water, and then it makes carrot soup. Like, that's a really cool little system. I remember really liking that system from this game's initial launch, but it's still a really neat system. And especially once you get, like, bigger forts built, and then, like, you have, like, multiple different dining halls, and then a really big... I remember having a really big central kitchen, and then, like, traveling quite far to, like, deliver food stuff. Like, it was... There's something to this game, which is why I'm playing it again. There's something here. If they're getting there, but I don't know if it'll ever be fully realized, but there's something here. Make another carrot plot. Like up there we have 11 meals. Although it doesn't seem like I need to make them bowls. I don't know where they're acquiring these bowls from, but... Alright, so let's go here and plop in some bedrooms. I'm assuming these are counted as different bedrooms. So beds require linen, which I don't have. So instead we're just making sleeping spots, which look like that shrub emote for Fortnite. Sleeping on rough stone floor. I mean, it says there's a bed there. Also doesn't appear that they claim bedrooms. Yeah, I don't think this game has any active, like, physics objects, and also isn't anywhere near as crazy as Dwarfort. Alright, well, let's just start making flooring as well. I'm gonna make sand... Apparently I have slate. Well, that's interesting. I'm just gonna make sandstone flooring up here. Oh, that's interesting. I'm watching all of my plants die in real time right now because it got too cold. Well, that's not good. Anyway, it's snowing. So that's kind of cool. Did the water freeze? Not yet. Find the darkness a bit too dark at times? Well, you're supposed to be putting in lighting, but I don't have access to lighting yet because I don't know how to do that. Okay, so we definitely need more farmers next year because they weren't able to harvest the crops fast enough before the winter hit. So everything, like, got wrecked. But fortunately, don't think we have to wait that long for winter to end. Also, we've already got carrot plants sowed. Oh, that's interesting. I guess I should just set more things as carrot plants because we do still have carrot seeds, whereas we don't have a lot of other seeds. So I don't know how trading works. Can I sell them planks? Do I bring them planks and then they give me money? I don't know how this works. Colony builders. Static razor. The difference between a colony builder and a city builder is a colony builder, the individual characters have importance. Whereas in a city builder, they don't. These characters are holding coins. Armok-like, Dwarf-like. I mean, this is a true dwarf-like experience. It's like city builders are very, like, macro, whereas a dwarf-like game or a colony builder has some sort of micro element to it. So, you know, like Lords and Villains, RimWorld, Dwarf Fort. All of those games. Micro? No, it's definitely micro. Not to be confused with Micro Machines. Whoa! New duders are arriving. We've got Dustin Ironhair. Do you have dust in your iron hair? Dustin? The other important question I have for you here, Dustin, is does Dustin make you feel good? Well, we've got potato soup, so I guess that's good. Oh, neat. We have a sack of 22 potatoes. Well, I mean, you could just, like, say, no, Blind's advice doesn't matter, Brokely. You could say that. Shark Jumping Walrus, thank you very much for the 5-pack. It's very kind of you. Cheers with an empty can of Rockstar. Time to brew alcohol? I mean, one thing at a time. These dwarves are certainly not as alcohol dependent as dwarves in Dwarf Fort. Certainly not. I'm also not convinced that they actually, like, need specific bedrooms. Yeah, it seems like the bedrooms are just, like, there. Now that's the Irish. That's completely different. There we go. Let's make another farm plot. Which we'll set to wheat. Or no, barley. Not wheat. Barley. I did have lightning strike a tree there once, and there is an extinguish button. I haven't needed to use it. I would assume that things can just catch on fire. Okay, so I need a water barrel. I need a fermentation tank, a brew kettle. I might need to make metal first, actually. So let's place this here. Zoom in a little bit. So fermentation tank requires a tank. I might have one. I don't have any of those. I need a brew kettle, which requires 6 metal sheets and a tank. And I need a mash tun. So yeah, I do not have the stuff for this yet. And then here, I can make mash, I think. This combined with water in a mash tun produces wort. So we need that. This is milled before it can be used for further brewing. Might as well queue those up. Grist mill crushes wheat into flour. Oh, fish barrel. Might as well place a fish barrel, but I don't have any barrels available. Yeah, I guess we just need to, I'm going to make one of these just so that I don't need to make one later. We're going to need to set up a metal industry. That's what we're going to need to do. Kind of want to do metal industry over here, like in this rock. So this right here is our masonry shop, which needs an ore crushing station. The ore crushing station requires barrel hoops, plates, and outputs something. So I will place that there, and we'll see what that does. What is that? Chat, I found a vixen. I do like that everything is just a bean in this game. Okay, so now that we've got this thing constructed here, we're going to make another import and output depot. So they're going to come in here and they're going to build... Wait, no, these are both import depots, aren't they? Import and also import. Okay, so also import needs to go away. I need an export depot. I can make a new crafting recipe in that zone. Okay, so what can you do? You can take crushed ore and fuel. Okay, fuel is required for the production of material. Both fuel is made from crushed ore or at coke oven by the blacksmiths. Okay, so we'll bring in that. And fuel. I don't think I have fuel, so I need to make a blacksmith next, me think. Because there's smeltery, smithy, and then so that's interesting. There's new wording in here. There's also a fuel refinery, which is separate. I'll make 2 coke ovens. And a charcoal clamp, I guess. Place those there. Like, this is the process for making metal right now. I've got a thing down here crushing ore. This is going to make me fuel. This is going to make the crushed ore into ingots. Exported, yes. We're going to export all of this ore. So I guess I need to find bituminous coal, I suppose. I'm actually just going to make another mason shop over here because the one over there is just going to be making blocks, I think, is going to be the way we're going to do this. Why are you moving the camera when I do that, game? Also, why are you like... Okay, the game was doing some weird things. But yeah, I don't know. I think that this game could very much have an audience. Like, there is something here. This game just needs, like, several... Well, actually, I haven't seen what the combat's like yet. This game just needs a successful early access launch. I don't know if it's ever going to get that. Unfortunately, like... You know, all of the problems that you guys in chat are making very obvious. You know, things like, can you go up and down Z levels? Does this do this thing or this thing? What makes this thing different? Like, I have a feeling like selling this game is going to be very difficult. Like it was the first time it released in early access. But I don't know. I want to see this game succeed because this game's cool, but it's a weird one. And I stand by that. It's a very weird one. I don't know, chat. What do you think of this? That's kind of my take from adventuring back into this game after not touching it for quite some time. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to make both of these, I don't think. Oh, interesting. Right, yes, this is very much that. An ore crushing facility. Kind of wish I could set all like that. What the fuck is wolframite? I read that as warframite. I was like, what the? Native silver, native platinum, native gold, copper, malachite, hematite, galena, fool's gold. Bitchy coal. Do you mean like the Imagine Dragons song, or is that an actual question? Because I don't think so. I would be very surprised if things actually had radioactivity. This miner's getting pretty good at this. Level 79. Look how fast this guy's mining. Jesus. That's crazy. In comparison with how quick they used to mine. Anyway, so you know how you guys were asking about caverns? Well, found one. This is a little cavern. There is purple helmet mushroom. Very unique, original idea. We have a berserker mushroom. That actually is interesting. We have Miltonia mushroom and a glowing mushroom. I love glowing brands of mushrooms. I wonder, because there is a mushroom farm. Oh. A log that has been injected with mushroom spawn. And a shock tank. After inclination, the mushroom log is placed in the tank to shock the mushroom colony and encourage it to grow mushrooms. What does this need? This needs blocks. Oh, I see it also. It probably needs to be in there first. Yeah, it's an actual mushroom farm. Which I probably shouldn't put all the way down here, but I'm going to. It's not much of an expansive cave. That's actually quite a small one. Oh well, I'm sure they'll keep digging. We'll go check in on that in a little bit. I'm more concerned and curious about this. I'm a little terrified. This game has the tools section, which just gives me nightmares of Dwarf Fortress's tools section. This is a really shitty menu to navigate. I assume I don't need them to bring stuff in. I mean, this thing just takes nuggets. Or ingots. And outputs other material, and outputs this stuff. But in order to build this thing, I need to have 2 fuel available. Maybe if I just, like, deconstruct these. Or actually, maybe don't deconstruct them. Can I cancel? It's fine. I'll deconstruct that one and set this one as none. We'll do that. Let's see. Does that make these available? Kind of figured they would put them in the stockpile, but they haven't. Unless I'm misunderstanding this system. Because, like, this is a bag of fuel right here. Let's increase the priority of this stockpile. Maybe they'll put it over there. Oh, never mind. No, they're actually just, they're making coke over here. Oh, maybe that's what they need. I don't know. We'll figure it out in a minute. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But now I'm, like, confused as to why they're going there. Ah, yes. The process of figuring out a fiddly system for the first time. It's been so long. What type of stone are we into? Slate? Isn't it just crushed ore? Details. Hush now, sweet child. You're probably right. It's just crushed ore. And not actually, yeah, it's just crushed coal ore, which isn't fuel. This over here is making coke, which is very healthy, I think. Okay, so now that... Once this hit's done, I'm assuming then that will allow us to make the thingy? On the bright side, my food supply's gone up. And as for why this one dwarf is walking in circles with the same boulder, you tell me. They picked this boulder up, walked down here, walked back up here, walked down here, walked back up here, and then walked back down here, and then gave up and left. Maybe they're trying to put it on here, but they can't. I don't know. Am I going crazy, chat, or did I just have coal disappear into the ether? You know what? I'm just gonna... Why can't I move the camera now? I'm just gonna let them do things over there for a little bit, and we're gonna go worry about something else. That's what I'm gonna do. Because over here we have hops being grown, we have potato plants being grown, we have more potato plants being grown, we got carrots being grown, and barley being grown. Maybe I should just make a farm plot for hemp, and we should see if we can start growing textiles. Because I'm just focusing way too much on that one thing. I have a feeling this is a game that wants me to focus on everything everywhere all at once. How's it going? Oh, you know, confused as hell. Just normal video game situation. Tried imagining hoppy vodka. You know, ironically, I've had IPA spirits. Which isn't too far from that. It's pretty good, actually. You really have to like the taste of hops, though. Well, we're into spring now. Why, is your twin a big fan of vodka? And also hops? Hops were not your fave? I quite like IPA liquor. Or hoppy liquor, I guess. Okay, let's try making a tailor textile workshop. Yeah. So this has a redding tank and a loom. That just means more for everyone else. Or just the bottle lasts longer. I don't even know what kind of gems those are, but... If you want to know what makes this game unique is I've been spending the last hour trying to brew alcohol. In order to brew alcohol, I need to make this, this, and this. Okay, I need a fermentation tank, a steel brew kettle, and a mash tun. ton. I need tanks for all of these. You don't start with them on Embark. I also need plates, which I do start with, but not enough. So I've been settling up a metalsmith's industry, which has required me to make this, which is a bloomery furnace, and a coke oven, and these. These are grinding ore down into crushed ore, which are then being flamed at the bloomery furnace using fuel from the coke oven so that I can make a forge to then forge stuff with after the rest of those steps have been completed. That's what this game is doing that's interesting, is everything requires 35 steps. Also, for like different workshops require tools, and if they're outside, they get rained on and they stop working, they can break and have to be replaced and upkept. That's this game's deal. It's all about complicated, crafting set things. And also, it's kind of got a theme that Dwarf Fortress used to have, which was the world's flat. But that leads to a lot of interesting gamey mechanics that a game can have because it's flat, that you don't get when the game is 3D. Like, I would love for them to implement features that Dwarf Fortress used to have that have never come back, such as flooding seasons. I would love floodlands to be in this game and stuff like that. So there certainly is appeal here, at least for me. And there's certainly mechanics here, as proven by just me trying to make one thing so that I can brew alcohol. And, like, when they cook food, right, they put food onto this little table here, right? Like, this is a sack of potatoes and a container of carrots. They fill up your cauldron with water and vegetables to make multiple ingredient soups, which then get picked up and carried over to the dining hall to be eaten. Floodplains were a thing in DF back in like 2009, 2008, yeah. So instead of just like brewing meals, making a stack of meals like in Dwarf Fort or RimWorld, they brew meals in a container and bring it somewhere else. So this cauldron here physically moves up to here when this one's empty, and then this one comes down here and they brew another pot of soup. There's also like baking and bread requires a specific table over here, which is a serving table. So once you have bread, and they also put multiple ingredients into bread, which requires a bunch of different metal because you need to make an oven and a bunch of other things, and you need to mill flour in a different, using this, I think, yeah, which requires a millstone, which I haven't made yet. I could make a millstone. I could just, like, make a little export palette here and then be like, yo, make us a millstone. I think I can do that here, or maybe I have to do that elsewhere. Anyway, yeah, no, there's something going on here. Like, there's definitely mechanics here. And I don't think that, Z levels thing is an issue. How do these export palettes work? That's what so you bring in the materials using the import palettes, right? So let's say, okay, we're gonna bring in hemp fiber for the import palettes, right? And then the export pallets is like, okay, well, what am I gonna craft here? So the export palette is like, okay, I can make rope or we can make linen. So when there's hemp fiber available, it'll be brought here, and then they will use this area to then output it there to then either be moved to a stockpile or something else. And if there's an item sitting there, they stop crafting it. So instead of me strictly queuing up X number of items of a thing, I just simply make the import and the export, and they make the thing with the materials that are in, within this region that I drew. So I could build more of these or another one of these in this region if I wanted. Pallets queue things, yes. Which is also, like, new since the last time I played this. The last time I played this, it was a lot more RimWorld-y, where you just had, like, a menu that would, like, say, make 5 of these, and then they would just make 5 of them. So it's like they've still been developing the game, even though it's been a while. Oh, interesting. Tanks are made from plates. Also have to request plates. Where do I make plates then? Oh, okay. So this bloomery furnace here makes plates. Fascinating. Okay, so now they've brought... Okay, so here's the actual thing, right? Don't actually think I have everything that I need for this. I also will need a millstone. Which... might be outputtable here. Yeah, there we go. We also need a millstone, so... Actually, no, you can just stay blocks there. You can just stay blocks. The music just stopped again. God damn it. Please stop doing that game. You're freaking me out. We'll make a millstone up here. Okay, well, I've got the tin fermentation tank done. Let's just place 3 of these and 2 of these. You know, the game's probably gonna be like, by the way, you also need barrels, and I'm gonna be like, around the time that happens, because like this is already throwing a lot at me. Do I need to hack down more trees? Not currently. Let's just get these done because I want to know what I'm importing and exporting from here. We're eating potato soup. Delicious. And nutritious. Clearing necromancer forts? You mean necromancer towers? And you mean like attacking them? You attack them, same like any other thing. You just keep attacking them until the game tells you that they're destroyed. Okay, so we're gonna need barrel hoops, which by the way, come from the forge. We're gonna need barrel staves to make barrels. It's 2 different things that we need to make in order to make barrels. I'm also going to go over here and I'm going to make another export spot to make hoops. I think is the thing that I need. There's a horse in here. That actually is my horse, though. This one's domesticated. Oh, there's actual fishing rods in this game. So I can ask them to make barrels. Well, I will tell them to queue up a barrel, but they're not going to be able to make them for a minute. No, I mean, this game's closer to Clanfolk, actually, than Rim. But not that many people... Actually, chat, has anybody... Just show of hands, has anybody here actually played Clanfolk? Or is it just me that's played Clanfolk? Like, did you play Clanfolk? Okay, so some of you do know... You guys do know what I'm talking about then when I say Clanfolk. That's good. Maybe I should play more Clanfolk. I played it right when it went into early access and was like, this is too early. I will come back in a year. And then Dwarfy came out. And I forgot that it existed, kind of. Downloaded the demo early on and messed around a bit? Gotcha. This is a game, actually, that would be served quite well by a demo. There's so many different little steps they have to do for things constantly. It's kind of crazy. I haven't tried it since. It's certainly a game that I need to check back in on, I think. I've got just like stacks of blocks sitting there. Might as well use them. Okay, you bring in that. And we'll bring in that. Start making barrels, too. How are things doing down here? We have one of these. I mean, okay, hold on. So I just need fuel and ore, and then they should be able to make plates. So okay, so I need crushed ore then. But it seems like the only ore that I'm getting is bituminous coal, which isn't good. I need this. I need the hematite. So, hold on. What if I set you specifically to hematite? Did I just skip it, or am I crazy? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, no, it's putting coal ore instead of like actual metal ore where I need it. What else can I put here? Just those two? Okay. Well, we're making barrels now, so I guess that's a positive. We have a chest up here now, so I guess that's also a positive. And this has been constructed. Yay! Our ledger table that currently does nothing. It actually states on it that it does nothing. Okay, so this has been made. So someone should... There we go. Okay. So now they're making something. Making one of the two of those. Oh, absolutely. There's like a billion different ways to make money, and I'm sure you'll find one. Gambling is an effective way to make money, though. All right, well, this whole thing is working now. This all needs ambient sounds. Just like Dwarf Fortress, this game is too goddamn quiet. Warsim is great, and it costs less than a burger at McDonald's. It's a fantastic little video game. Let's just make sure... I really wish that instead of clicking any, I could just click on like a list, because like, you guys want to see some bad UI layouts? This. Like, you think Dwarf Fortress has like some problematic UI? This is worse by a lot. So anyway, this stuff should just come down here. Then once it hits here, house always wins. Not in Warsim. And in Warsim, you can also have enough money where you can be the house. But yes, no, in real life, you shouldn't gamble. The house always wins. Video games, though, Video games isn't real life, fortunately. Unless it's like surprise mechanics TM. So I played when the game first started. I mined all the ores from the map. Mined all the ores in the map and you were stuck with development. You have to import stuff. Like, this is certainly a game where you just start importing stuff after a while. But any game with, like, a limited map, like... But the guides recommend putting a weight on the space bar and keep a gambling machine going for a few minutes. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's weird that they only need fuel made once for the forge. That part's weird. I do quite like the way, like, this mechanic works. Like, it feels like you have a little factory. Like, I want to see this at scale with, like, 200 dwarves all working in, like, the same forging environment. Like, that seems real neat. Also, we've been living off of carrot and potato soup for 4 years. Could be doing worse, frankly. I guess the other thing I'm going to see if I can do is I'm going to see if I can build a bakery. I'm still trying to get this thing done. Yeah, I still haven't figured out what to click on to trade. And my assumptions have not, like, turned out to be true. Well, on the bright side, we are making stacks of this stuff. I guess eventually everything will just stop working if you run out of any individual thing. So wait, hold on. That's tin plate. And oh, I understand why these aren't working. Because there's a single tin plate right there. I need iron plates. I guess I need 2 more for different types of materials. Oh boy. That's going to be fun to deal with. Any stops being any after a while. So they'll go grab those planks from over there and bring them over. The caravan comes twice a year. But yeah, it must just be for social visits. They're just here to ask us about our wares and when are we going to trade with them. And we'll go, when we figure out how to brew alcohol. We're not intoxicated. Obviously, we can't do trading. Let's not be silly. No, it's not needing specific metals for things. Different metals can be made into almost anything from what I can tell. But you can only have one type of metal nugget or ingot or plate on each input pile at a time. So I can either have a stack of tin or I can have a stack of iron. I can't have a stack of 3 tin and 4 iron. Yeah, so I have to make another import depot so that I can bring these iron ones over here because I have this tin one from the initial embarked here. So maybe I could just, like, change these to iron specifically. Maybe that would fix it. Or alternatively, I can just be like, boom, you, iron. Yeah, and then they move it off. Okay. Then they should bring these over from here, these 4. They should. Feels a bit weird, but, like, it's very Dwarf Fortressy. I've got an iron plate. Was that not tin? Or am I crazy? Okay, here come more iron plates. So now they should be able to make this. Yes. All of this to try and make alcohol. We still haven't made alcohol yet. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I do, however... need to grab wheat. And flour, because that's what we're doing here. And actually, no. I do need to make another import and export. Because I'm growing hops and barley. And not wheat, I don't think. Maybe a shitty colony sim. I can't say that I've ever played a colony sim that's based off of an RTS engine. So, I've never seen it. I don't know. Ask me? I'm not that kind of person. Are you allowed to ask? Certainly. Will you get a coherent answer? Eh. Probably not. Dough proofing table. Baker's oven. The baker's workshop. Interesting. Now this one doesn't have an output. Intriguing. Big market that's hard to navigate? I think it's a small, very much underappreciated market. There's like 3 successful games. So 3 known and successful games, and then a lot of games that nobody's heard of. But that's what the Monday streams are for. They're for detours. Unless Dwarf Fortress patches on a Monday one day, at which point then I will just simply go on strike and not stream. Actually, that's not true. I'll probably still stream. I like how it says it needs sandstone, maple, iron, but it actually needs blocks, a rolling pin, and a kitchen knife. All those things we have assigned. Baker's oven just needs blocks. That's easy enough. Man, things have sped up significantly now that I have twice the number of dwarves. During his time in the military? Sounds like you need writing prompts. Right, so what are we bringing out here? That is odd. Why does the bakery have an import for a boulder? It's like, you can either import flour here to the bakery or a giant rock. We do actually need a rough stone boulder to make bread. So hold on a second. What the fuck's the difference between dough and ration dough? And wouldn't I just want 7 dough? I don't understand. I mean, I guess I will give them both, but like, it's just an odd requirement. I mean, from my friend growing up's dad's description of being in the military, it was lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of time spent sitting in a barracks sweating and occasionally traveling from one barracks to another barracks. On the right side, we have more than enough boulders lying around. I think I'm just going to make a bunch more export pallets, all for blocks. And then another one of these in here. 5% nearly dying, 95% really boring. Okay, so you had a really, really, really bored dwarf who ran out into the military once and got stabbed in the arm. Fortunately, the stabbing was just done by a wooden stick, so didn't really do too much damage. I'm a very boring person. Kind of annoyed that this smoke is the same shape repeated and then overlaid on top of itself a billion times. Kind of works, but... kind of works, but also kind of doesn't. All right, chat. We're getting close to 4:45. I still haven't successfully made alcohol. But I'm sure they will do it eventually. At the rate that we're going, things are improving. And we will bring vegetable sacks there. I'm assuming that needs to be hops. We'll bring grain if we have it, and we'll bring milled malt if we have it. I'm not certain we have any of those things, but we'll bring them if we have them.